Disclaimer: the names in this story have been changed for privacy. This case was documented after speaking directly with Joy and Emma. What you're about to hear is based on Joy's own confession, along with Emma's account of how the truth finally came out. My name is Joy, and I am writing this because I want to finally put into words how a single choice, one tiny spark of attraction, can twist an ordinary life into something you'd never expect. When I look back at my 20s, I see broken pieces scattered everywhere. At 20, I thought I had everything a girl could ask for. I was married to the man I loved, blessed with a little daughter, and full of dreams of building a home, a family, a future. But marriage doesn't always turn out the way you think it will. By 25, my husband had walked out on me, taking our child with him and leaving me with nothing but unanswered questions and a heart that couldn't figure out where it went wrong. 5 years of marriage, gone in silence. I'm 27 now, and on the surface, it looks like I moved on. I built a life for myself, working as a sales manager in a corporate company. I wear sharp heels, shake hands with clients, lead meetings, and press the numbers that keep my team afloat. People think I'm strong, independent, maybe even intimidating. But the truth is, when the office lights shut down and I go home, I still feel the weight of an empty apartment. I still feel like a woman left behind. That's when Emma came into my life. She was new at the company placed under my team, fresh-faced, polite, and glowing with the kind of happiness only newlyweds carry around. She was younger than me, but there was this soft charm about her, something innocent yet confident. I liked her instantly. It was easy to mentor her, to guide her through client calls, and to chat over coffee breaks. She didn't know the shadows I carried, and I didn't offer to show them. One Friday evening, after work, Emma surprised me. "Joy, we're having a small get-together at my place tomorrow. Just a casual thing. You should come," she said, her eyes lighting up. At first, I hesitated. I wasn't in the mood for watching couples kiss over wine glasses, but something in her voice was genuine. I didn't want to seem rude, so I agreed. Her apartment was warm, cozy, filled with laughter the next evening. I remember stepping in and hearing her husband's voice before I saw him. Deep, smooth, carrying through the room. And then, when Emma introduced us, I froze for a second. He was handsome in that natural, effortless way that can't be taught. Tall, athletic, with that kind of posture that told me he lived in the gym. His smile was charming but not forced, and when he shook my hand, it was firm yet warm. "Nice to meet you, Joy," he said. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. I don't know what hit me in that second, but something inside me shifted. I had no business feeling anything for him. He was my colleague's husband, for God's sake. But loneliness makes strange choices for you. My heart reacted before my brain could scold it. The rest of the evening, I caught myself stealing glances. The way he poured Emma a drink, the way his laugh filled the room, the way his shirt hugged his shoulders. I felt like a teenager again, flushed with something I hadn't felt in years. Desire. After that night, I couldn't stop thinking about him. His image replayed in my mind during late-night hours when silence was the loudest. I knew it was wrong. I knew I shouldn't be crossing even an imaginary line. But knowing and feeling are two different things. I started visiting Emma's home now and then. Sometimes it was work-related. I'd drop by to pick up a file, or to discuss something with Emma. Other times, I made excuses that even I didn't believe. Emma was sweet, welcoming as ever. But in truth, I went there just to catch a glimpse of him. Every stolen second mattered. A casual smile exchanged across the living room. A "Hi, how are you?" that carried more weight than it should. Even his presence in the background filled a void inside me. One day, while chatting with Emma, I found out something that made my heart race. "Oh, he's not just working in finance," she laughed. "He also trains part-time at the gym. You know, just to keep himself busy and because he loves fitness." That single line was enough to set fire to my thoughts. A gym. His gym. A place where I could see him outside the boundaries of Emma's living room. That night, lying in bed, I made a decision. I would join that gym. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe it was just a craving to feel alive again after years of emptiness. Whatever it was, it felt inevitable. I told myself I was doing it for my health, for fitness, for stress relief. But deep inside, I knew. I knew the real reason. It wasn't about me at all, it was about him. And so, without telling Emma, without telling anyone, I started preparing. I bought new workout clothes, signed up for the membership at his gym. And with every step, guilt wrestled with excitement inside me. But I ignored the guilt. Because when you've been starved of affection long enough, even the wrong kind feels like salvation. First update. When I finally walked into that gym for the first time, my heart was racing for reasons that had nothing to do with exercise. I had signed up for a demo class, something casual just to try it out. But deep inside, I knew I wasn't there for the weights or the treadmills. I was there for him, for Mark, Emma's husband. The place was buzzing with energy, music thumping, people lifting, trainers calling out instructions. And then, like a scene out of a movie, I saw him. Mark was across the room, helping a client adjust their form. His focus, his energy, his easy smile, it all came rushing back, stronger than ever. When his eyes landed on me, he did a double take.
Joy? Hey.
I didn't know you were into fitness. I forced a casual smile, though my insides felt like they were twisting. Yeah, just thought I'd give it a shot. Stress relief, you know? We made small talk about the gym, about routines, about memberships. At one point, I teased, "You're talented, Mark. You could get any job you wanted. Why here, of all places?" He grinned, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Because I love it. I've always been into fitness and training people. It makes me feel alive. It's not about the money, it's about passion." Something about the way he said it struck me. He wasn't like the men I usually knew, the ones obsessed with titles, salaries, and promotions. Mark seemed grounded, content with something he genuinely enjoyed. It made him even more attractive in my eyes. That was the day I signed up permanently. I told myself it was for my health, but we both know the truth. The weeks that followed were a blur of late nights at work and mornings at the gym. Every time I walked in, I felt a spark light inside me. And yes, I began to push boundaries. One day, I wore a new set of gym clothes, tight, short, leaving very little to the imagination. They clung to my body like a second skin. I told myself it was normal. Plenty of women dress like this at gyms. But when I walked in, I felt the eyes on me, everywhere. Men paused mid-rep, women looked at me curiously. But the only eyes I cared about were his. When Mark noticed, his expression flickered for just a second. Surprise, maybe admiration, but he quickly went back to being professional. That didn't stop me. "Mark," I said one afternoon after a workout, "would you be willing to give me personal training sessions? I mean, you already know me, and I really want to get my body into shape." He hesitated, then nodded.
Sure.
"If you're serious about it, I'll help you." And just like that, I had him. The PT sessions became my escape. An hour carved out of my day where it was just him and me, his hands sometimes brushing against my arms or waist as he corrected my form, his voice close to my ear. It was intoxicating. One evening, after a grueling session, I suggested, "There's a cafe right outside. Want to grab a coffee?" My treat. To my relief and thrill, he agreed. We sat there, sweaty and tired, sipping on lattes like it was the most normal thing in the world. We talked about fitness, about work, even a little about life. I kept it light, careful not to cross into dangerous territory. But even so, I knew what it looked like. And apparently so did others. Because one day, as fate would have it, a couple of my coworkers from the office spotted me at that cafe with him. They waved, smirked, and left quickly. I didn't think much of it at first, until the whispers began at work. "Joy is seeing someone. She's with a married guy. She's shameless, flirting with Emma's husband." The gossip spread faster than wildfire. The irony? None of them even knew Mark was Emma's husband. To them, he was just a random man I'd been spotted with after the gym. But rumors don't care about truth. They grow, twist, and spread until they turn into monsters. I brushed it off at first. I'd built a reputation in my company as a strong, no-nonsense woman. I thought I could handle whispers. But gossip has a way of echoing in the wrong places. Because one afternoon, I got a text from Emma. Hey, can we talk? It's important.
My heart sank.
When we met, she looked uncomfortable, almost embarrassed.
Joy, I heard something today.
People are saying you've been going out with a guy. And some even said they saw you with my husband? Is that true? Her words sliced through me. I wasn't ready. I had told myself this was all harmless, gym, coffee, friendship, nothing more. But hearing it come from her mouth felt like being exposed. I froze, forcing a laugh. Emma, people talk. You know how rumors are. Yes, I've been training at the gym, and yes, sometimes we grab a coffee. But that's all. Don't take it the wrong way. She studied my face, doubt flickering in her eyes. She wanted to believe me, I could tell. She wanted to trust her mentor, her friend. But I knew, deep down, the line between right and wrong was getting thinner every day. And I was standing right on the edge of it. Second update. That night, things began to unravel faster than I could have imagined. Emma wasn't the type to let rumors fester in her head. She confronted Mark directly after dinner. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed the anxiety she carried. Mark, tell me honestly, she said, arms crossed. Do you have anything going on with Joy? People at the office are talking. Mark looked stunned, almost offended. He shook his head immediately. Of course not. Joy's just a member at the gym. She joined recently, that's all. I don't know why people would say otherwise. Emma wasn't convinced so easily. She pressed on.
I know her, Mark. She's not right.
She got divorced young. She's unstable, and I heard she doesn't even have custody of her child. I don't want you tangled in her drama. Please stay away from her. For a moment, Mark just sat there in silence. Then he sighed, running a hand through his hair. You're probably right, he admitted. I've noticed the way she looks at me sometimes, like she's watching me when she thinks I don't notice. And once, she gave me this random gift. I didn't think much of it, but now maybe I should have. Emma's face hardened. Then promise me you'll keep your distance. Don't train her anymore. Don't meet her outside the gym. If it helps, take a break from work there for a while. Mark nodded reluctantly. All right. If it'll make you feel better, I'll step back. And just like that, the decision was made. For the next several days, Mark didn't show up at the gym. He stayed home, spending more time with Emma, trying to rebuild a sense of normalcy. But for me, it was anything but normal. I kept going to the gym, expecting to see him. Day after day, he wasn't there. Every time I asked casually about him, the staff would just shrug. He's off for a while. That void gnawed at me, hollowing me out with every passing hour. Obsession isn't sudden. It creeps in slowly, wrapping around your thoughts until they don't belong to you anymore. By the third day, I couldn't take it. I told myself I had to see him. Just once. Just to know he was okay. So I lied. At work, I told Emma I had a client meeting during lunch. She smiled, grateful that I was so dedicated. If only she knew the truth. Instead of meeting a client, I drove straight to her apartment complex. My palms were sweaty as I stood at the door. For a moment, I considered leaving. But then I rang the bell. Mark opened it. Surprise flickered across his face, quickly hardening into unease.
Joy?
What are you doing here? I stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. You weren't at the gym. 4 days. I was worried. He closed the door behind me, his voice low. I'm fine. I just needed a break. But the way he avoided my eyes, the way he shifted on his feet, it only fueled my desperation. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Mark, I whispered, my voice trembling, I can't stop thinking about you. I'm in love with you. His head snapped up, eyes wide. What? I love you. I repeated, louder this time. Emma doesn't deserve you. She's weak, she barely earns, she doesn't even see how amazing you are. I could give you so much more. I could even make sure she loses her job. Don't forget, she works under me. The words spilled out like poison, but they felt like truth in that moment. My hands trembled as I reached for the hem of my top. And before reason could stop me, I pulled it over my head, standing there half naked in his living room. Joy, stop. Mark barked, stepping back. But I stepped forward, reaching for him. I want you.
Please.
Just once.
His jaw tightened.
His voice was firm, unshakable.
No.
I love Emma. I don't want you. You need to leave. Right now. The rejection hit me like a blade to the chest. My face burned with humiliation, my body shaking with rage. How could he turn me away? After all the signs, all the moments, all the feelings I thought we shared? My vision blurred with tears and fury. I stumbled to the door, flinging it open, my bare skin exposed. Neighbors, startled by the noise, peeked out from their doors. Whispers started immediately. And in that chaos, in my hurt, I screamed. Mark tried to force himself on me. He touched me. He wouldn't let me go. Gasps echoed down the hallway. Neighbors exchanged horrified looks, some already pulling out their phones. Mark stood frozen in the doorway, pale and speechless. For a split second, I saw his world collapse in his eyes. And I knew there was no turning back. Final update. The night the police knocked on Mark's door was the night everything turned upside down. My accusations had taken flight faster than I could have ever imagined. Within hours, officers were at his apartment. Neighbors whispered, watching as they cuffed him and let him out. I had gone home, trembling with adrenaline, half in disbelief at what I'd just done. By morning, Emma knew. She stormed into the police station, her face pale but fierce. She demanded answers, and when she was finally allowed to see Mark, he didn't hold back. He told her everything, how I had shown up uninvited, how I confessed my feelings, how I stripped down, and how, when he rejected me, I turned the tables and accused him of assault. Emma's heart broke, but not for herself. It broke for him, for the man she loved who was sitting in a cell because of me. Mark managed to get bail, but the damage was done. The case was moving forward. A court date was set for the following week. Their reputations were on the line, and Emma knew mine too. My mask had to be ripped off. That's when they hatched their plan. A few days later, I noticed Mark waiting outside my apartment. He looked different, tired, worn down, but still striking. I hesitated before walking up to him. Mark, I breathed. He gave me a small smile, almost apologetic. Joy, I was wrong. I should have seen your love for what it was. Maybe I was blinded by loyalty. Maybe I didn't want to admit it. But you're right. Emma never really understood me. You did. My heart leapt. The words I had been craving, the validation I had starved for, it was finally here. I knew it, I whispered, tears filling my eyes. I knew you felt something too. She doesn't deserve you, Mark. I can give you everything. He nodded. Then let's start fresh. Tonight. Dinner. Just the two of us. I didn't question it. I didn't doubt it. I agreed. That evening, we walked into a quiet restaurant together. The dim lights, the soft music. It all felt like a dream finally taking shape. Mark ordered drinks, his voice calm and casual. But what I didn't notice was the woman in the corner, dressed in a waiter's uniform.
Emma.
When the glass was set in front of me, I didn't hesitate. I sipped, the warmth spreading quickly, then burning hotter than expected. My head grew heavy, my vision blurred, my defenses crumbling. I laughed, slurred, leaned too close. And words spilled out of me like a dam breaking. I did it. I wanted you, Mark.
You.
Not her. I lied. I told everyone you forced me, but you didn't. You never did. I just wanted you to be mine. I could have destroyed Emma's career. I could have ruined her life, but it wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted you. My voice rose, loud enough for the hidden camera on the table to catch every syllable. Mark kept me talking, asking gentle questions, pretending to agree. All the while, Emma stood nearby, recording, her heart pounding but steady. By the end of the night, I barely remembered how I got home. The next morning, pounding on my door jolted me awake. My head ached, my memory foggy. When I stumbled to the entryway, I froze. Police officers stood outside, cameras flashing from news reporters who had caught wind of the scandal.
Questions were hurled at me.
Why did you accuse an innocent man? Did you plan this because of jealousy? Are you aware you could face prison for false allegations? Confused, panicked, I turned back inside and reached for my phone. I dialed Mark's number. He picked up instantly. Hello. I heard the same ringtone echo outside my door. Slowly, I turned the knob and opened it fully. And there he was, Mark, standing with Emma by his side, both of them steady and unflinching. The officers stepped in, their voices stern. Joy, you're under arrest for filing a false police report and defamation. My legs gave out beneath me. No, this isn't fair, I screamed. Mark looked at me one last time. His voice was calm, almost cold. When you think about destroying others, Joy, karma always circles back. You try to take everything from Emma and me. Now it's your turn. The handcuffs clicked around my wrists. The court date arrived swiftly. The video footage played on screens for the judge and jury, my drunken confession, my lies spilling out, my threats against Emma. The neighbors testified about the scene I had caused in the hallway. Even the police admitted Mark's cooperation and Emma's persistence in seeking the truth. I had no defense left. The verdict was clear. Guilty. I was sentenced. Prison walls became my new reality. Days blurred into nights, the weight of my downfall pressing harder each time I remembered what I'd lost. Not just freedom, but dignity, reputation, everything. And as the weeks dragged on, something inside me began to crack. My mind unraveled. Guilt gnawed at me. Regret twisted me up, and slowly, I lost touch with reality. Doctors were brought in, then psychiatrists. Soon, I wasn't just a prisoner. I was a patient. A broken woman spiraling into madness. Meanwhile, outside those walls, life carried on. Emma and Mark stood stronger than ever. The storm I had tried to unleash only bound them closer. The case, though painful, became a testament to their loyalty to each other. And in time, joy blossomed back into their lives. Emma discovered she was pregnant. Their family was growing, their future secure. And me? I sat behind iron bars, my mind fragmented, my body wasting away. Alone, forgotten, the echoes of my choices haunting me every time the cell door slammed shut. What started as a spark of loneliness had ended in ruin. And there, in the hollow silence of my cell, I finally understood. Love built on lies can only ever destroy.